Are you fed up with paying high banking fees or having a very limited number of transactions? If that's the case, I have some great news for you. There's this subsection of the Financial Consumer Agency of Canada's website that has an account comparison tool. So let me show you how to use it. It's free to use. You don't need to create an account or anything like that. So let me just zoom in here so you can see what I'm doing. All you have to do is you select your province or territory. Let's say that we live in Nova Scotia for this example. Then it allows you to compare both your checking and savings account. So in this case, let's just run the example with a checking account. But again, you can do the exact same with a savings account. You can select what currency you want the account to be in, and then you can further limit the number of options for the types of accounts that will actually pop up. What I would recommend is the first time you run the search, not to select any of these additional accounts, because that will eliminate a lot of the other accounts that aren't, for example, specifically for seniors or specifically for students. Now, if you happen to be a senior or a student, you might be tempted to select that because you're like, well, usually I might get a preferential lower rate. That is true. However, certain banks, even their regular accounts, actually have no fee, for instance. So if you have the choice between a high fee and a low fee, yes, the low fee is preferable, but between a low fee and no fee, well, you do the math. Lastly, you can also select additional filters down here. For example, if you want to have accounts that have no fee whatsoever, you can indicate that. If you want accounts to have unlimited online transactions or unlimited self-serve transactions, you can also select that. Furthermore, you can actually select up to 10 different banks that you can limit the search results for. So for example, if I was to select Scotiabank, the only accounts that would pop up in search are Scotiabank related accounts, assuming they are available in that region. Okay, but for now, I'm going to leave everything blank. So I'm going to go search, and 39 different accounts popped up. Now you can click on view details for every single one of them to literally see the details for all of them, but I don't find that particularly useful because there's quite a lot of information. It's hard to compare them. Instead, I prefer to use their actual comparison tool live. So I'll click on, let's say, Tangerine because it popped up as first. Let's pick TD because it's last in this list, and let's pick one more. And there we go, BMO. Perfect. It says compare 2 or 3 results, and then click on this, and voila, you have Tangerine, TD, and BMO, all 3 accounts being compared simultaneously. It's a lot easier to kind of keep track of, which one is a better deal this way, right? You also have the link to the specific web pages if you want to sign up for those particular accounts. Now, it will mention, things like how many transactions are included, unlimited versus 2 in branch, 10 self-serve, or 25 combined. What is the interest that it actually pays you? So small amounts or none. What are the monthly fees? None or $3.95 or $11.95 respectively over here. Now, one thing I'll mention here is a lot of times you'll see things like this. They'll mention, $3,000 minimum balance and we waive the monthly fee. Now, that sounds like a good deal initially because you're like, oh, sweet, I don't have to pay the $11.95 monthly fee. Yes, but it is an indirect fee. What's the indirect fee? Is the opportunity cost of that $3,000. Fancy way of saying your $3,000, because in this account, it earns you nothing, literally. You're actually losing purchasing power, and also you're not gaining any interest whatsoever. It's an indirect fee. Up to you to decide whether that's worthwhile for you or not. It also mentioned what withdrawal fees exist, if there are any, and if they differ between ATM and branch, etc. I'll also mention what are transfer fees, as well as international transaction fees and overdraft protection fees, if there are any specific ones included, as well as NSF fees. One part of the website I find lacking is when it comes to overdraft protection fee comparison. When you're just looking at this, you would think that, well, the only difference is the annual interest is 21% for BMO and TD, and it's 19% for Tangerine. The other 2 things are the same, per month fee and per occurrence fee. That's not quite the case. I don't know for this particular TD and this particular BMO account because there's multiple accounts, but the vast majority of BMO and TD accounts will typically charge you this fee on an ongoing basis. Whereas I know for a fact that Tangerine only charges you with the $5 per month fee if at the end of the month you still have a balance due. It only charges you the per occurrence fee if by the end of the day you are in overdraft you still have a balance. If, let's say, at 5 p.m. today, I have a check that puts me in overdraft, then I'll get an email and or a text message telling me, hey, Alex, your account is in overdraft. Make sure to put the money back in before 11:59 p.m. today, or you will get charged a $5 occurrence fee plus a 19% annual interest rate. If I pay it off by 11:59 p.m. on the same day, nothing here gets charged. I don't get the 19% interest. I don't get charged a per occurrence fee, and I don't get charged a per month fee. So Tangerine is not the only one that has that feature. It's just that I find that that's one part that is lacking on the FCAC website. It's almost impossible to figure out which one of these accounts are actually function that way versus which one actually charges you an ongoing monthly fee. Other than that, the website is really good at comparing checking accounts. Now, come to think of it, there's one more section of the website that doesn't really exist, and that's special promotions. Different banks will have different promotions for new customers or for very specific circumstances. For example, RBC right now, up until May 1st, 2023, will give you $350 back for signing up for a new account. Again, there's a few additional terms and conditions. TD will offer you $400, BMO also $400, Scotiabank $350, CIBC $400, and even online banks like Tangerine and Simply. So Simply, you have $400, and then with Tangerine, you can also get $400 in cashback rewards, as well as a 5% limited time annual interest rate on your savings account. So those are the only things that aren't mentioned on the FCAC comparison tool. But again, those change on an ongoing basis. So overall, I think it's a great tool and you should probably give it a shot.